Hello, and welcome to our session on using MyNCBI and Bibliography. For those of you who I don't already know, my name is Tom Zucker-Scharff. I can be reached internally at extension 3512 or by email at thomas.zucker-scharff@einstein.yu.edu. I am, among other things, in charge of publication tracking for the Cancer Center. Today we will cover various aspects of compliance with NIH policies, specifically the public access policy. We will only briefly look at the various methods of submitting a publication to PubMed Central. The library will be giving a workshop specifically about the submission methods on April 9, 2014. Anyone who deals with this should attend that workshop. Since this is the first time the Cancer Center is presenting this, we welcome any suggestions and, of course, any and all questions as they arise. Since April 2008, the NIH has mandated that any award requests, whether renewal or competitive award, must list the PubMed Central ID, PMCID, not the PubMed ID, PMID, with each citation. Beginning on July 1, 2013, the NIH started enforcing this policy. According to the NIH policy, quote, compliance with the NIH public access policy is not a factor in the scientific and technical merit evaluation of grant applications. Non-compliance will be addressed administratively and may delay or prevent awards of funds. End quote. In an attempt to make compliance easier, the NIH has provided researchers with several tools to monitor the compliance of each of their publications. These are ERA Commons, MyNCBI, MyBibliography, and the NIH Manual Submission System. We will go over creating a MyNCBI account, linking said account to your ERA Commons account, putting any publications which are not already in your MyBibliography into it, linking the publications to your grants and awards, making publications compliant with the NIH public access policy, and assigning delegates and what they can do. Note that each of these topics could be a session unto itself, so we will attempt to go over the most salient points. When we are finished, you should be able to accomplish each one of these tasks with only minor assistance. Before creating a MyNCBI account, it should be noted that much of this can be done by a delegate. But remember that someone who is an ERA Commons delegate is not a MyNCBI delegate. Once you have created a MyNCBI account, you can assign a delegate in MyNCBI separately, although it can be the same person. This delegate must also have their own MyNCBI account. If they don't have one, they will need to create one in order to be a delegate. The way in which a delegate accesses and sees various items will be slightly different than the way in which a PI sees the same items. In this presentation, I will mostly be looking at each item from a PI's perspective. I'll be happy to address any delegate questions at the end or during the delegate slides. If you do not already have a MyNCBI account, you can register for one for free and link it to your ERA Commons account. To do this, start the browser you normally use and go to PubMed by typing pubmed.gov in the location bar at the top. Then press Enter. You will be directed to the PubMed homepage. Click the Sign In to NCBI link in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. On the resulting page, click the Register for an NCBI account link under the Sign In button. Enter the information to create a new account. Start fields are required. Then enter the characters you see in the graphic, called a CAPTCHA, in the box below the graphic, and then click Create Account. If you are successful, you should see a confirmation screen and then be redirected back to the PubMed home screen. But you will be logged in. You will see the name you used to register in the upper right-hand corner next to a MyNCBI link and a sign-out link. Linking your MyNCBI and ERA Commons accounts. When you are logged into PubMed, the name you use to register for MyNCBI appears in the top right corner. Click on your login name. In the following screen, locate the Linked Accounts section. If your ERA Commons account is not listed, click the Change button to add it. In the Search for Account Name box, type in NIH, upper or lowercase, then click the first link. When you are asked to log in, enter your ERA Commons login name and password. Under your linked accounts, NIH and ERA Commons should now appear as one of the linked accounts. If you want to be sure that the accounts are linked correctly, click on the MyNCBI link in the upper right-hand corner. Locate the My Bibliography section and click Manage My Bibliography. If you are a delegate, locate the Collection section and be sure that the person you are a delegate for has an entry there. If the accounts are linked, an ERA Commons logo appears at the top of the page. Putting your publications into My Bibliography. First, you should check to see if your publications are in your My Bibliography. If you are logged in and have clicked MyNCBI, the My Bibliography section will list how many publications are in your bibliography. If no publications appear, use the Search section just above the My Bibliography section to add publications to your bibliography. Note you will not be able to add a delegate unless you have at least one publication in your My Bibliography. To search for an author, just enter the author's last name. For example, Scharff, or Scharff, open bracket, AU, close bracket, denoting author. You can also add a date or date range by using the word capital A, capital N, capital D, followed by parentheses, the beginning date or year, followed by open bracket, DP for date published, end bracket, colon, the end date or year, followed by open bracket, DP, close bracket, and close parentheses. And there is an example right here. So this means publications authored by Scharff, which have a date published between January of 2013 and December 31st of 2014. Once you have finished the search, you can click the Send To arrow to get further options. In the drop-down, choose My Bibliography. Or, if you are a delegate, you can choose your PI's bibliography. Other citations section is generally used for citations that are not yours, but you wish to keep track of. Put all your own citations in My Bibliography. Choose My Bibliography and click Add to My Bibliography. The resulting screen will tell you that the items have been added to your bibliography. Click Edit Your Bibliography to go to My Bibliography. Linking publications to funding. If under funding it says no funding has been associated with this citation, as you can see here, you can associate the grant that funded or partially funded the work that resulted in the citation by clicking Add Award. The Assign Awards dialog box will appear. Grants associated with your ERA Commons account will appear under My Awards. Other grants associated with publications in your library will appear under Other Awards. If neither is appropriate, you can use the Search Add Other Awards tab to find any other awards in the NIH database. In the search dialog, you can search by grant number or grant name, or by the grantee name, the PI's name. In the resulting search, click the arrow next to the item you searched to select a specific grant. Put a check mark in any of the boxes next to the grant you wish to associate with the citations in question, then click Save. For instance, if you wish to associate a publication with the Cancer Center Support Grant, first you would put I.David in the first name box and Goldman in the last name box. When you click Search, you would get these results. If you were to click on the first arrow, you will see the Cancer Center Support Grant. If you were then to put a check mark in that first box and then click Save, it will associate the grant with the publication in question. You can also assign a number of publications at the same time. If no publications are selected, you'll note that all the buttons at the top are grayed out and cannot be used. On the other hand, if you select some publications, now it says 2 items selected, and the buttons at the top are available. If you click Assign Awards to assign awards to both of these publications at the same time, you'll get this resulting dialog. You can do the same thing, assign awards using your My Awards, Other Awards, or click on Search Add Other Awards. Once you find the correct award and put a check in the appropriate box or boxes, then click Save to assign the awards. Making publications compliant with the NIH Public Access Policy. This is essential since funding can and has been withheld if publications are not compliant. Publications must be associated with said funding source or any grant on which you wish to list them. If you have not already done so, reread the blast email Ed Burns sent out regarding the need to address compliance as soon as possible. That email was also resent with the invitation to this class. Publications need to be compliant if they are a result of NIH funding, or if they are peer-reviewed, or are published after April of 2008, or if they are written in a Latin-based script. Actually making a non-compliant publication compliant is a whole session unto itself. There will be a library workshop on April 9th, which will delve into more of the facets of this process. For now, we will cover how to change the state of compliance for a publication that has already been submitted or is not supported by NIH funds. Using the Edit Status link, click Edit Status. In the next dialog, answer yes or no to whether the publication is supported in whole or in part by NIH funds. If you click no and save, your publication will be marked as NA or not applicable. If you click yes, a dialog will appear asking for further information. You can choose to begin the submission. You could enter an existing NIH MSID. You can choose that the publication is being taken care of by the journal. This means it's method B. Or you can choose why the NIH public access policy does not apply to this particular publication. The publication was not peer-reviewed, was not accepted for publication after April 7th of 2008, was written in a script other than Latin, or was not supported by NIH funds. When you're done, click Save and Close. In MyBibliography, each publication listed in the award view will have a compliance status associated with it. The various different icons are outlined here. Any publications that have a green check mark are compliant. If they have a yellow circle and say PMC Journal in Process, this means that the journal that you submitted it to is taking care of it, and it is in process of being compliant. If it says in process at NIHMS, this probably means that you submitted it, and it's in process of getting a PMC ID. If that's a red circle with an exclamation point, it means it is not compliant. Either it does not have any NIHMS ID, the NIHMS ID is older than 3 months. In any case, the PMC ID has not been assigned 3 months post-publication. Any publications that have a question mark next to them, meaning there's not enough information to determine compliance, must have the status edited using the Edit Status link. Publications that have the NA or not applicable next to them are not applicable for the reasons determined previously. This chart shows the basic methods of submitting a publication to PubMed Central. This will be covered more comprehensively in the April 9th workshop hosted by the library. Assigning a delegate. In order to add a delegate who can do most of the tasks to meet compliance regulations, you must log in to PubMed. Once logged in, click on the MyNCBI link. You'll be directed to the page which contains the MyBibliography component. Under MyBibliography, click on the Settings link. You will only see this link if you have at least one publication in your bibliography. On the Settings page, there is a section called Delegates. This section will list any delegates you already have in MyNCBI and allow you to create new ones. Click Add a Delegate link to add a new delegate. Remember, your delegate must have a MyNCBI account in order for them to accept and use delegation. Enter the email of the person you wish to add as delegate, then click Add Delegate. Click Save to save your changes. An email will be sent to the email you entered in the previous page. It will look something like this. In order to accept or decline the delegation request, the person must click on the link in the email received from MyNCBI. If they do not have a MyNCBI account, they will be asked to create one at this point. Otherwise, the link will take them to a page where they can confirm or decline the invitation. Declining the invitation will result in this being displayed on your account. If they confirm the connection, you will see the name under MyNCBI username changing from awaiting confirmation to the user's name. When a delegate views their MyNCBI, it will look slightly different. Instead of clicking on Manage My Bibliography to get to the proper listing, she or he will need to look under the Collections view. In Collections view, one could see one's own bibliography, called My Bibliography, and the bibliography of whoever you are a delegate for, in this case, Neva Morales-Grajales. Be sure you go into the correct bibliography. Note that Neva, or the person for which you are a delegate, must have his or her ERA Commons account linked to his or her MyNCBI account, or the delegate will not see the ERA Commons logo and will not have access to the awards view. When accounts are correctly linked, you will be able to access the awards view. Click on the down arrow next to Display Settings. Under View, you'll be able to see Award. In summary, we have seen how to create appropriate accounts, both NCBI and ERA Commons, and how to link them. How to make sure all your publications are in your MyBibliography. A delegate can take care of your publications if you designate them as a delegate in MyNCBI, which is different than an ERA Commons delegate. How to link your publications to funding sources, and how to make sure all your NIH-funded peer-reviewed publications published after 2008, which are in English, are compliant with the NIH Public Access Policy. You can use any of these resources to look further into how to become compliant with NIH Public Access Policy.